With me, I'm gonna give you guys a breast update from my doctor's appointment yesterday. So, good news and bad news. I'm gonna get my hair done today, so I'm gonna just put it up in a ponytail. The good news is I don't have to have surgery without anesthesia. When I saw the other surgeon yesterday, she said that it is too big for her to do it in the office without any anesthesia. Like, she couldn't with good conscience, on her conscience, like, do that to me. And it would be like borderline malpractice. So there's really nothing I can do right now because I'm pregnant, and they're going to leave it up to me to decide when I want to go in and have surgery. I mean, well, there's something I can do. I can go have the surgery, but I have to be put under anesthesia, and that puts the baby at a significant risk. And they said they don't ever say never or always, but they don't want to put the baby at that risk. Like, they want it to be my decision. And I don't know. It's like, this is not life-threatening, and I just don't feel comfortable putting the baby at risk for something that's not life-threatening for me. I don't want to make the situation life-threatening for a baby when it's not life-threatening for me. So we have to wait until wrong one. We have to wait until after the baby's born to do anything. So we're just basically gonna watch it. They tried to tell me, the thing that's frustrating is, because my disease is very rare, most doctors have never treated patients with it. They might have heard of it, and just as I thought, like always, whenever I see a new doctor, they come in with a sheet that they printed off of Google with how they would like to treat it. And I have to tell them, it's like, well, we really don't like to do surgeries, and we don't like to be invasive, blah, 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 blah. I know all that. Everything you're recommending that I do, I've tried before, and it didn't work, which her recommendation was steroids. As long as I live, will never, ever do steroids again, ever. The experience was absolutely horrible. It was terrifying, and it didn't work. So I pulled out my phone, and I was like, she's like, well, I said, let me guess, how do you normally treat it? She's like, well, this is what I would recommend because this is what she found on the internet. I was like, oh, great. I already know what this is. It is the steroids and the chemo drug. Not doing it again. Not doing it again. So I showed her, this is before those medicines. This is after those medicines. Of my 6 masses, 5 of them occurred after starting these medicines. So it doesn't work. I don't care what your internet research tells you. It doesn't work. And I'm not going to sit here and be an experiment again. So I'm very proud of myself because I have really great knowledge about this disease, because I've been dealing with it for 4.5 years. I was able to advocate and stand up for myself and say, hey, I would just, if you're telling me this is what you want to do, I'm telling you that's not what I'm going to do. I'm not doing it. It doesn't work. I have an infant. I'm not willing to put my kid at risk because I'm on these medicines that I know make me feel absolutely horrible. Like, I just can't do it. So we're at this point, we're just going to leave it and see what happens. And typically what I would do in this situation, because I've done it in the past, is fast. Like, just not eat any food, just drink water for a couple of days. And it usually helps. But I can't do that because I'm pregnant. So really the only thing that I can do is pray that it goes away, and just try to make sure that I don't have any trauma to my breast. So make sure my baby daddy only plays with the left one and not the right one. And don't be trying to do tricks and stuff, and running, jumping, and bouncing, and all that stuff. So I'm glad that I don't have to have surgery without like anesthesia. It's too big for her to do that. It's too deep. And by the time I probably would go in for surgery, it would be even bigger and even deeper. So it just doesn't make sense. And I'm okay with that. I would rather be in pain than put my baby's life at risk. This disease is not life-threatening unless you get an infection inside. So what could happen is I could go in and they could do this surgery, and then I get an infection. because now they've opened up my breast. I get an infection inside of my breast. Then it could become deadly. But it's typically like you're not going to die from it. So my life is not at risk. I'm just at risk for being in incredible pain. And I'm willing to deal with that to keep my baby safe. So I'm not willing to put my baby's life at risk just to save a breast. Like, I've had double D boobs since I was 9. I am 35. I'll be 35 in February. So I've had boobs long enough. So if it means I lose my right breast, I lose my right breast. My baby daddy said he'll still love me, whether I have implants or nothing. He's still gonna love me. And we still gonna do wild stuff. So I don't have to worry. So that's my update on my breast situation. So keep praying for me. I'll keep you guys updated, but it's going to be something that I just try not to focus on, because since there's nothing that I can do about it right now, even the medication offerings, I have to be really careful with them because I'm pregnant. So like taking steroids while not pregnant was one thing. I have no idea what would happen while I was pregnant, or even if they're safe while they're pregnant. She kept getting confused because she's like, your thing says you're postpartum. I'm like, yeah, I am. I was like, but I'm also pregnant. She was like, oh. Every time people look at me, I'm like, it was planned. So please don't say it. I'm so sorry. Like, but I don't know. If it does get worse and I end up having to do something, I'll probably end up back with my team in Maryland, just because I don't feel like fighting somebody over the best course of action when they're not really knowledgeable. Like, she literally walked in with a piece of paper from Google. It's like, oh, thank you. Thank you for this. So that's my update. It's Friday. I've got a lot going on today. I said in one of my last videos, we have like 25 more days until divorce court, which I'm so excited about. I cannot wait to get there. I wish I could go tomorrow. I just want to get there and like deal with this. Yeah, so I'm excited about that. And October, November, gonna shore up a lot of things, settle a lot of things, and just be able to reduce the stress in my life a lot. Like just being, I don't have anxiety, but I'm just like anxious when something's like hanging over your head. This date has been hanging over my head for a year. Like, we went to court back November 1st of 2022 to try to settle. At that point, I had filed for divorce 11 months prior, and we were not coming to a compromise because I'm not stupid. Like, it was absolutely ridiculous. So they were like, oh, well, the next time we can see you is 364 days from now. And I was just like, wow, okay. Because we're going to trial for 3 days. I have no idea what we're going to talk about for 3 days, but 3 days. So hopefully get it over with, be done, and what's best for my son can be put into place. Ain't nothing like a bubbly in the morning. I'm gonna tell you what, I ain't never felt more grown than when I drank a bubbly.